So this is Jimmy from D-Way Tools, and today I am going to show you a very cool upgrade for your Powermatic tool rest. Everybody that has a Powermatic lathe has one of these tool rests, and everybody has a love-hate relationship with this tool rest because you love it because it's this big beefy tool rest, but you hate it because, well, all the tools gall on it, you're continually filing it, it's a pain. So we have come up with a fix for that. I'm going to show you how to attach a 3/8 M42 heat treated steel bar to the top of your tool rest. It's the exact same steel as our tools. Changes this tool rest into a whole different animal. Now it's an awesome tool rest. This is kind of what the finished product looks like. I'm going to go through the steps it takes to get the tool rest to this point, and we will start from there. So first off, you take your tool rest and clean the paint off. You don't have to clean all of it off. I kind of ground it off along this edge and this edge. I did the whole edge. You don't have to. It's best to set it, what I did is I got a couple of little sticks, popsicle stick, I broke it in half. These things have a tendency to not be flat. So that will hold it up off the table a little bit and it'll keep it flat without rocking. You'll get a nice little edge. So I have found, instead of trying to do this all in one shot, I have put a little dab of JB Weld in a couple different spots, and I have taped it there to hold it there. And then after this is set, then I can do my thing, and I know that the rod's not going to move around on me. We're going to be good. Okay, so you can see the little spots I put here, and I just did that just because it makes it so much easier than trying to keep, because when you go start smearing this up, this thing is going to move around on you. So use the long set, the 24-hour JB Weld, not the 5-minute. Don't use 5-minute epoxy. I've tried that. It's kind of rubbery. It does not make the same bond. So I'll show you how to do this now. Now that I can take the tape off. And no part of this is complicated or hard to do. Okay. Now that we have that off, I have discovered though that if you do a little bit of taping, it will make it easier for the cleanup later. So I will go ahead and run some tape on this. I tore that piece of tape to the exact length I could never do again if I tried. Wow, that never happens. Alright, I can see a little spot is sticking up here, so I'm going to peel this back. There we go. This gives you the second piece of tape. Cleanup's a lot easier if you do this. Go. If you want to make a little dam on each end, you can. You don't have to, but okay, there we go. We are ready to go. This is what it looks like. I've left this in the package, so they make this in two versions. They make it in 5-minute and they make it in the traditional 24-hour set. Use the 24-hour set, it's stronger. So you may have to mix up a few times. Don't worry about it. Stuff's a little difficult to squeeze out of the tube. And this stuff is tenacious. This isn't something we just came out with overnight. We started this little project a couple of years ago, so there's a couple hundred of them out there in our part of the US that we've been playing with them. They're very durable. Nobody's has come off. It's an amazing thing when it's finished. I had a tinge a little bit more hardener than I do steel, just because, you know, you want to make it, you don't want to have things sticky. This stuff is pretty much like Bondo for anybody that chews Bondo. So you mix it up the same way you would mix up any epoxy. I'm using a little screwdriver here just because it wipes off and it cleans easy. You will want some paper towels or some rags or something to clean up with you. And the disclaimer here, this stuff is not the best smelling thing out there. So we're mixed up pretty good now. I'm gonna do this. Normally I would have this turned the other way, but I'm going to do this. And let me move this here. So I'm gonna move it here so it's a little easier for me to put this stuff on. So you just kind of lay it in there, and give it a little roll, it comes off. This probably is not going to be enough here to do the whole thing. Don't worry about being super neat. I'm going to show you how to smooth this out once we get it on there and get it spread. You can use anything. I just like using a screwdriver because it's something I have. It's easy to clean off. So now you just kind of spread it. You want it to be in the cracks all the way. If this looks complicated, it is not. This is a very, very easy thing to do. There's no wrong way of doing this. Yeah, you see I've kind of used that as a screed to level off, so a little bit there. So we're going to mix some more up. Have some paper towels handy. I'm not sure if the mixed stuff will contaminate the new stuff that's not mixed, so I'm not going to find out. I'm just going to mix some more, clean the screwdriver. This is another reason, the 5-minute stuff, you're in kind of a rush. We're in no rush here. This stuff's not super expensive. I think it's $7 or $8 per package. 2 of these tubes will do numerous tool rests. Everybody that's worked on cars has used this stuff. Everybody that has fixed a lot of stuff has used this. It's very good stuff, been around for a long, long time. It's basically epoxy for metal. It mixes and acts kind of like Bondo for anybody that uses Bondo. So we'll mix this up. It's not hard to mix. It does have a little smell to it though. Not as bad as Bondo. Okay. You can see that wasn't hard to mix. So we'll finish this off. is gooey. And this looks really messy right now. It's not that bad. And if you don't get this all even and perfect the first time, you can let it dry and you can always do another coat. So, see if we can get some of that. There's a little spot right there. We've done that pretty good for now, I think. Okay. So, flip this around so you can see a little better. So, solvent-free all epoxies is a denatured alcohol. So, anyone who has done any caulking on their house or something like that, and you smooth the caulk bead with wetting your fingers, it's kind of the same thing. Keep your finger wet with denatured alcohol. I don't know if rubbing alcohol works the same or not. I know denatured alcohol works because that's the solvent for epoxy. Okay, you'll need to do this a bunch of times, but you can smooth it pretty smooth with your finger. Basically, you turn your finger into a squeegee. The alcohol does not weaken the JB weld. Okay. So, that's how easy that is. Now you'll see why we did the tape. Pull the tape off. The little dams here, just kind of make sure you get it all the way to the corner. You can leave this tape and pull it off when you're done, but this JB weld dries really hard. So I tried that once and it was a little difficult to scrape off. So I suggest pulling the tape now. Kind of an old tile setter's trick when you're grouting. Tape up to what you're doing. You don't have to clean up much of a mess. Okay. We don't really need these little sticks anymore. I'm just going to roll that in. Roll that in. Okay, you can let this dry and you can use it the way that it is. I'm going to show you how easy this stuff sands. You could technically, since this has already been set with the two little dabs, same thing on the other side. Just run some tape along here, run some tape along there. Same thing, this isn't as big of a crack. You want to have some material in there because that's what really makes the bond, is the material. And with the JB weld on both sides, this thing's never coming off. You can see what the back looks like. So this is what a finished product looks like. You can use this exactly the way it is. If you don't want to tape it up, I've made another little sample here so you can see how that reacts. This is the little bitty baby Powermatic one. So I did half of this with some tape, and I did the other half just putting it on there with the screwdriver and not worrying about it. Just to show how easy this stuff sands. It's a little bit easier if you use something round. I'm using 120 and a 1/2 inch spindle gouge because, well, that's what we have. You can see how easy this is. Powder's up, super easy, really fast. So you can see that was really rough. Stuff sounds really easy. You can see it's a little easier if you tape it. That's why we do that, but I wanted you to see that if you make a mess with it, it's not a big deal. So I'd keep going on that a little bit. Maybe might use something smaller than a 1/2 inch. It's like this is built up way higher than it needs to be there. We'll see how easy it knocks down. So when you're all done with whatever you like, material-wise, if you're a little short, go ahead and mix up some more and fill the little spots that you don't like. So you see, I mean, stuff turns to powder super easy. Kind of what the finished product looks like, all sanded. I think this was done a couple times to get it to be that pretty. So this is what the tool rest looks like originally. The thing everyone hates about these, see this lovely little nick right there? You hear that sound? Hear that roughness going across? No matter how many times you file this, no matter how many times you polish and wax it, it's always going to get like this because it's cast iron. Cast iron is soft. Now hear this. Literally like ice skates on ice. This will never wear out. It will never ding. People that have hardened rod tool rests know that they're not impervious to dings and dents. Exact same tool steel as our tools. Consider this a 3/8 bowl gouge with no flute on your tool rest. So you can find these hardened steel rods. They're on our website. There'll be a little link to this video on how to do this. There was a lot of research and development done on this. This wasn't some overnight thing we just came up with. So pretty much all the people in our area have these on their tool rests. You can do this to any cast iron rest. Small rest, big rest, do it to all the jets, any of the older cast iron tool rests that are out there. Super easy to do. So I guess we're done with this one.